Wow, it's hard to believe that Monster Hunter is already a year old. Seriously, where did that year go? Oh.
Gentlemen, we are dealing with someone here who has absolutely no life.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay, so maybe I spend a little bit too much time in front of my Xbox, but are you really all that surprised? I mean, we do have a YouTube channel dedicated to this crap. Anyway, I think it's time to take stock of my favorite game of 2018 and talk about where it's going. Let's start with my review. And that's really it. There isn't much to say that hasn't already been said. This is one of the best games I've played in years. And I honestly believe there are only two types of gamers, the ones who love Monster Hunter, and the ones who just haven't figured it out yet. So please keep that in mind, as this video is going to get kinda critical as we move forward. Because at over 600 hours in, I've put the game on the shelf, and after the Witcher crossover, which Danny is really excited about.
God, you're ugly. Winds howling. Storms brewing. He says storms brewing. I can't wait for Geralt to Monster Hunter. I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait. Bowser, can I wait? I can't wait. No, I can't wait.
I don't plan to touch it until after Iceborne drops. There's one major reason for this. Okay, one major reason that has anything to do with Monster Hunter World. It's the lack of player agency, also known as RNG. Let me explain. As you battle your way through the first couple hundred hours of the game, you collect monster parts to build the gear you want, and the RNG is so minimal, it's barely worth noting. It's organic, it's complementary, it's the way the game works. At worst, you'll have to kill a monster an extra time or two because maybe this Dodogama doesn't have any claws. And at best, you'll get everything you need to build that cool weapon on the first go, because somehow that Pookie had 3 wings. Either way, you, the player, make a clear choice about what you want, and you have a clear path to go and get it. You have agency. Simply go kill the high rank version of that monster 2 or 3 times, get your parts, make your reward. It's simple, fair, fun. That's how it's done. This is a video game. This is a looter. And so it goes that for the most part, Monster Hunter World is a very fair grind. That is, until you hit the endgame. Oh hey! Did you enjoy that crazy speedrun that the Japanese kid just posted on his YouTube channel? Want to try that out? If you're anything like me, long before you ever get the chance to get hit with that cold hard reality that you're just not that good, you'll notice that you can't make that build. Even though you've got 600 hours into the game and a couple thousand large monster kills, and even though most of them were tempered elder dragons or arch-tempered elder dragons, you're still missing tons of critical decorations that you would have needed to make that build. I mean, after all this time, I still have never received any artillery jewels, charger jewels, iron wall jewels, shield jewels, handicraft jewels, tenderizer jewels, and of course, I have never received an attack jewel.
Cheap, lying, no good, rotten, four-flushing, low-life, snake-licking, dirt-eating, inbred, overstuffed, ignorant, blood-sucking, dog-kissing, brainless, dickless, hopeless, heartless, fat-ass.
Honestly, there are so many more that I've never seen, but there's really no point in sitting here listing them all. We'll be here all day. This brings me to why I won't play any more Monster Hunter until Iceborne comes out. The grind of killing the same monster over and over again works because, well, 1, credit where it's due, they're f***ing awesome, and 2, and this one's a lot more important after 600 hours, there are 14 different kinds of weapons that are all awesome, unique, and worth mastering. The problem is, to make powerful endgame builds, you gotta grind out your weapons and armor materials, plunk obscene amounts of Zenny and armor spheres into each new set, and earn your rare stream stones to augment those weapons. But even after all that, you probably won't have the decorations that you need. Case in point, all the gems I already listed is missing in action. Even when I was lucky enough to get most of the bow-related gems, I never received any physique jewels, which enable some pretty fun bow builds. So all my builds were never quite as optimal as they could have been. And there's simply no path for you or I to sit back and say, you know, I really want this build to work, so I'm gonna go get that physique jewel. You've got no choice, you have no agency, you're at the whim of the dice. All you can do is pull the fucking slot machine handle, and I refuse to do that anymore after years of World of Warcraft and Destiny. I'm not exaggerating when I say the decoration grind is one of the worst I have ever experienced in a game. Period. There's literally a 0.42% chance that you would get many of those gems that I've listed from any particular drop. And you only get 2 or 3 drops per kill. When I first hit Endgame, the grind was equally bad for Heroes and Warrior Streamstones, which are the items that you need to augment your weapons to make them endgame viable. And back then I was pretty close to saying, you know what, this is as far as I want to go with Monster Hunter. But I got a few lucky drops, and then there was some awesome free DLC, and that kept me engaged long enough for Capcom to patch that system. Now Streamstones are just a horrible grind, not an impossible one. We took a step in the right direction with that patch, but just recently, Arch-Tempered Kulve Taroth was released, and I just could not bring myself to log in and play. It isn't that Kulve Taroth is a bad monster, I actually love Kulve. The problem is that Kulve Taroth has its own weird reward system that honestly sucks, and it frankly feels like somebody got their destiny all over my Monster Hunter. So really quickly, if you don't know, Kulve Taroth is the key to getting many of the really good endgame weapons. She's literally got hundreds of weapons locked up in her reward pool, but unlike every other monster, you can't just build the ones you want by collecting her parts. You just have a small chance to get any particular weapon after a kill, just like the decorations. Side note here, this really makes your inventory management a nightmare. You're gonna get buried in shit weapons you don't care about. What's more, unlike the stones, which drop from every monster in the game, obviously Kulve weapons only come from Kulve. That's it. So you better be ready to kill this monster over and over and over while you sit back and just hope that you'll get what you're after. Why couldn't Kulve have just given you monster parts that you could take and then build or augment other weapons to get the things that you want? You know, like every other monster in the game. I have a sinking and sinister feeling that it's because the folks in the corporate office are getting a little too in love with their analytics. Let me be clear, Monster Hunter World was the most consumer-friendly product released in 2018. The new missions, gear, monsters, cool crossovers, and seasonal events, those were all free, and that was glorious. But the game tries really hard to get you to log in every week. I mean, why does all this free stuff disappear if you don't act now? The RNG and as seen on TV event pacing all feel more like an effort to raise corporate KPIs and less like an honest attempt at engaging fans. If that's what they're thinking, they need to get their heads out of their Psych 101 books and come back to reality. Confusing what genuinely excites players for what gets them to keep pulling the handle and not realizing that there's a f***ing difference is a slippery slope. Capcom, if you want to put your players in a Skinner box, that's going to breed resentment over time. This brings me to the future. Capcom's got 2 choices. They can either make a Monster Hunter game, you know, a game where player skill is rewarded and agency is the name of the game. Or they can give us more Kulve loot tables, more decoration grinds, or more stuff that we're... Can I be so bold as to say we're?
My name is Danny, and I approve of this message.
Okay, more stuff that we're not interested in and just won't come back for. I love Monster Hunter, and I honestly do have a lot of hope for the future, but I'm not going to get too overexcited because the newfound success of Monster Hunter World out here in the West is going to get the suits looking really closely at how they can make more money off of it. And in the end, that always hurts the product. Anyway, those are my 2 cents. Like I said, I'm super excited about Iceborne, but just a little nervous, and I hope they take the high road here and they keep delivering on the promise of Monster Hunter. But we'd love to hear what your thoughts are. Do you agree? Do you think there's a chance that Capcom may be going down a dark path? Or am I just a worrywart, over-concerned with trends in the industry and applying them in places where they're not actually having any impact? Comment and let us know what you think. If you did enjoy this video, a like would be super appreciated. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon for notifications. And as always, stay classy, Internet.